วันนี้พี่อยู่กับนักข่าวในตำนานนั่นคือคุณแมททันนั่นเองซึ่งณปัจจุบันนะทุกคนเขาเนี่ยกำลังจะทำงานให้สำนักข่าวหลายๆที่ทั่วโลกเลยนะฮะไม่ว่าจะเป็น France 24 ก็ตามแต่หรือ DW News ก็ตามซึ่งวันนี้เนี่ยจริงๆคือจุดประสงค์หลักเลยนะฮะคือเราจะมีการสนทนากันเป็นภาษาอังกฤษเป้าหมายเราวันนี้นะฮะคือเราจะมีการแฉคุณไมเคิลบีอัลฟาโรแล้วเพื่อนของเขาด้วยนะครับเราจะเอาข้อมูลจากนักข่าวซึ่งมีความน่าเชื่อถือเป็นอย่างยิ่งนะครับวันนี้แล้วขอให้ชาวโลกทุกคนได้เห็นคลิปนี้แล้วกันนะครับพี่จะพูดเป็นภาษาอังกฤษเลยนะฮะทุกคน alright so hey Matt thanks for coming on the show
Hello everyone
สวัสดีครับพี่ Matt okay
Thanks for
Matt
having me
and Matt allow me to get straight to the point I guess I want to talk today about two characters two people who at this point in time are on social media saying that they're connected to the White House. They're connected to Donald Trump. They're best buddies. You know, there's been a lot of commotion because of this, I think. A lot of Cambodians believe in what they're saying. Even some Thai people have honestly been confused by this. And I feel like a lot of people are wondering. And we just really need someone to come out and show us or tell us or explain to us just exactly what's going on, who these people are. Are they really connected to the White House? Are they really best buddies?with Donald Trump. So I'll let you go ahead and do your thing.
Michael Alfaro and Gary Franchi are now entering at a time where the media has since evolved. And what's interesting is that I don't really want to blame the president personally. I mean, I could go on about the president separately. This whole situation is very opportunistic for a number of reasons. Why can people come in and actually achieve what they achieved? We can't deny that they came here and they captured the attention of millions of people. That's a fact. If we zoom in on this situation in particular, just a few years ago in 2021, the Cambodian government implemented a policy that all of the internet traffic has to first go through a government server. So the internet has already been kind of like throttled, but it's definitely being surveilled. In addition to the fact that like hundreds of civic organizations have been closed, independent media, there's very few of it left. And so I think that it was obvious to any opportunistic person that if they went there and they had a chance to do what seemed to be like a hole in the media, that they would win praise. And the rest is what we saw. Why in the world could you go into any country outside of the United States and present yourself as someone who has a credential from the White House and that they would care? And so I think that if you are someone who is looking for opportunities to use, you know, other people's pain so that you can grow, for example, like if you can find a conflict happening like in South America or maybe, you know, in Ukraine, these types of things, I don't think that if you showed up in the Ukraine and said like, I have a White House press credential, that would matter. And so I think that it's about also determining who will accept your legitimacy or the legitimacy that you present. It seems that it would be difficult for most people to actually have access to the same information that you and I have that make it pretty obvious that they are scammers. It seems that the Cambodian people, in addition to Thais, but that the Cambodian people are the ones who are losing the most from this. If you look at the work or whatever, I don't know, I'm trying to be chill, the work that they did in Cambodia, or he did in Cambodia, it's mostly promotional.
So if you do a quick search on the internet before Matt continues, you'll see that Yahoo News, the first story that pops up, right, on Gary Franchi and even on Michael, right, is something like this. So in just the last few months, the channel's owner and host, Gary Franchi, has showcased several baseless allegations, including a suggestion that Antifa might be behind, you know, Western wildfires. Another article suggests that Next News Network founder cries on air as conservative channel gets demonetized.
But what's interesting about it for me is that they also, like, everything prior to what they were doing before Cambodia was basically rage bait. On Michael's page, he was jumping onto the idea that Trump should be the Pope. If they were to go somewhere where people had the freedom of information, where people had access to an open internet. Like in Thailand, we actually have that. The job of a journalist is to hold people accountable, mostly, and at least for me. And I think that the people who allowed for this to happen need to be held accountable. And there's a lot of information running through the rumor mills about how he got there, but I can tell you for sure that he wasn't there unattended. It's impossible.
You know, the truth of it is this. We have, I especially, have no ill will toward the Cambodian people. And this is something that I say on, you know, my platforms all the time. The Cambodian people are wonderful. In fact, they're our brothers and sisters, right? I think what is happening now is that this government, who has committed unbelievable atrocities, right? This family in Cambodia, they're using nationalism and using this war and like their own people's lives to drum up support for their government. And I think what you mentioned just now is so true and so telling, in that if you were to take these two and bring them to Thailand, you could see how here there's freedom of information and people call them out immediately. People are like, no, come on. And people are looking stuff up and they're researching it, right? Thai people. Like you mentioned just now, there's no way these two survive anywhere but Cambodia. That's not to say Cambodian people suck. That's to say that we feel sorry for Cambodians in that they don't have access to free information. They don't have access to real journalists, right? And so it's kind of similar to North Korea in that they're sort of inundated with this constant stream of, false information from their government that they have no choice but to believe it because there are no other alternatives, kind of thing. I feel like a lot of Cambodian people are so desperate, like just to be recognized and loved and appreciated because of what their government has done, that I feel like maybe some of this is not even that they're not doing their research or they don't have access to proper information. Maybe some of it is they're just so happy to see these two Americans, embracing them and protecting them. And it's very sad to see. And I just hope, that for any Cambodian people watching this, like, hey, Thai people do not hate you, and I think I just hope that we can move forward together.
With hundreds of thousands of Cambodians like coming to work abroad, you have to question that they don't just not know. I think it's also that they can't say it. And so I think people are afraid because they've been through a lot over the last few decades. And so the idea that if they speak, that someone might come and like kill their brother.
That's real. That risk is real. Do you think that Michael B. O'Farrell and his friend were hired by the Cambodian government, or do you think they saw this going on and used people's pain, used the chaos to try to promote themselves, right? Which is it, in your opinion?
My opinion, if I had to if I ran the numbers, the social numbers and everything, and also based on my experience with like really rich people are really rich because they don't really pay for things like this. And also you're talking about an authoritarian, so I don't really think that for me, I know this is probably an unpopular opinion. I believe that they would have done it for free, and they probably did.
I think what they're planning to do and what they are doing actively, and I've seen their content and I've gone through it all. I think their end game here, as far as I'm concerned, is they're hoping to turn, the average Cambodian into their fan, right? They want to become a celebrity in Cambodia, so that then they can sell their scams to Cambodians, right? Because I feel like a lot of Americans, Europeans, Thais, people who look at this objectively, without the emotion that we discussed today, without the fear we discussed today, right? You immediately go, what? Right? Like that is your knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah.
I think I think these two actually are smarter than we give them credit for.
Yeah.
They're smart enough to be opportunistic in a very, very evil way. And I saw a video from Michael B. O'Farrell as he was leaving Cambodia. Like, people were like swarming him. Were these paid actors? I don't think so. No. I don't think so. I think this is an authentic reaction from people without love, without hope. And they see these two Americans from the White House. And their only knee-jerk reaction, or the knee-jerk reaction, is thank you. Well, also, Asians are so nice, though, right? Like, they're so humble. This is why I live in Thailand. Man, I'm sure this is why you're here, too. You go, I am at home here more than I've been at home anywhere in the world, including America. And I think there's this hospitality, this kindness, especially in Thailand, right? The idea of greng jai, which means, like, thinking about other people more than yourself and not wanting to hurt someone else and not wanting to offend them. This is unique, and this is why this has been a talking point of mine for years. And I've gotten in a lot of trouble. A lot of people who follow me know. I've gotten a lot of trouble on social media talking about why I believe Thailand is amazing. I haven't just started talking about this now. Like, this has been something I've talked about for 4 years. And it's because I've made the comparison, man. It's because, and I'm sure you feel this as well, it's like, man, Thailand is just so unique. It's so wonderful. People are so warm. And I do want to address this also, though, as we get toward the end of our podcast today. A lot of people have asked me why I've been so, I don't want to say aggressive, but vocal ever since this conflict began. Every day I've been posting stuff. The main reason is I feel so fortunate to be in this position. And it's never lost on me that I am lucky and I don't deserve it. And I think it's that sense of gratitude that has driven me to feel like, hey, you know, I've gained so much. Thai people have been so nice to me. They follow me, they watch my videos, they've given me a chance, you know, and as we get to know each other better, Matt, I'll tell you more about my story. I've told it to a lot of people. I had a hard childhood, etc., etc. And I was able to become successful here in Thailand. That is not lost on me. That is not lost on me. Yeah, creators are great, but I'm not that awesome. I'm just a person. It's the audience that chooses who they follow. It's the audience that gives people the opportunity. It's the people who choose you.
I encourage that people look at the situation with Michael and Gary and further educate themselves if they need to, because I don't shame people that would have looked at that and believed it, because that's the thing. People can present themselves quickly, and also attention spans are less. But I think that more people like you who care should do what you're doing. And I think a lot of people are kept out by establishment media, this idea that only establishment media do it, when really at the end of the day, I'm an independent journalist. And I'm very lucky that, I mean, I don't say I'm lucky because honestly I work really hard, but I have contracts with everyone I work with, but I work on my own terms. And they work with me because I provide them the service of expertise. I know what I'm talking about, and anyone can do what I'm doing. Anyone, if that's what they want to do. So I think if I could leave a takeaway is that some people are bad, most journalists are not. I don't know any reputable journalist who is reporting on this situation who wants the conflict to continue. They are the only ones that I'm aware of.
That's right.
That's my take.
Well, they're fanning the flames.
Yes.
It's obvious on a daily basis.
Yeah, and they're still doing it now that they're gone. But I think that it won't last.
No, I hope not. I mean, I hope that this thing comes to an end. I hope that this podcast puts everything to rest, right? That's my goal with this. Sure. I'm happy to do my duty here. You know, I'm happy to speak up for Thailand because I feel like there are not that many international voices doing this right now, right? There are no Americans doing this right now. And I feel like, okay, it's my duty to do so. And I'll be here as long as it's necessary. But I hope that this podcast really, I guess, just puts to bed all these narratives that have been so false around these two individuals. And if that is possible, I feel like the conflict can come to an end. Because something I've said on social media and something I believe with all my heart is this has become a PR war more than a conflict with boots on the ground, right? This has become a war of words. And that is dangerous for both sides. I specifically feel like it's dangerous for Thailand because Thailand's, as you mentioned, GDP and economy, all of this is tied to tourism. So this is why I'm shouting from the rooftops on a daily basis, hey, we need to fight back against these false narratives online that are painting Thai people and Thailand in general in a bad light. If we as a nation lose authenticity, reputability in the sight of the world, who's going to suffer?
Right.
Thai people, local shops. Right? People who already don't have that much and stand to lose everything. And that for me is why this interview is so important, you know, and I owe this to Thai people. And I really appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thank you so much. And since I have some Thai people looking at me, I also would like to say thank you to Thais. For this has been, the last couple of days has been quite a journey.
Sure.
But
everyone's very grateful, Matt.
Yeah, thank you all very much. And I will be doing some very interesting things this coming week to try to bring some clarity around issues that people are in the comments begging me for. I don't want to say specifically, but there's some stuff coming that I'll be talking to David about.
You will definitely appear on my channel more than once if you're willing. Sure. It's an honor to have you on, Matt.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Matt Hunt.
สวัสดีครับ
ขอปิดท้ายรายการนะครับทุกคนด้วยคำนี้แล้วกันคือพี่รู้สึก ซึ้งใจมากๆว่าคุณแมทฮันเนี่ยมาคุยกับเราวันนี้คือพี่รู้สึกได้ถึงความน่ารักของเขาความที่เขาเห็นใจคนไทยแล้วก็พี่รู้สึกว่าอันนี้คือหนึ่งคนที่มาพูดแทนคนไทยในยามที่พวกเรากำลังจะยากลำบากอยู่เพราะฉะนั้นเนี่ยขอบคุณพี่แมทฮันอีกครั้งหนึ่งในฐานะนักข่าวต่างประเทศ France 24 DW News นี่ไม่ใช่โอ้โหนี่ไม่ใช่แบบว่านักข่าวใครก็ไม่รู้นะฮะทุกคนนี่คือนักข่าวคนหนึ่งที่น่าเชื่อถือเป็นอย่างยิ่งนะฮะเพราะฉะนั้นกับใครก็ตามแต่ที่อยากดูคอนเทนต์ของเราต่อก็คุณสามารถตามพี่แมทฮันกับพี่เดี๋ยวก็คงมีคอนเทนต์ต่อเรื่อยๆนะทุกคนขออนุญาตปิดท้าย Matt I'm gonna end with like my tagline here ตามนั้นคือจบ Matt can you say this for us ตามนั้นคือจบ
ตามนั้นก็จบ
ตามนั้น thank you guys ขอบคุณมากนะครับพี่แมทครับสวัสดีครับบาย